This isn't the first time we've featured a San Lorenzo on the channel, but every now and then you come across a boat that is really unique because of that ability to customize absolutely everything. The other thing that is really special about this boat is that it is owner driven and operated, and it has absolutely been spec'd specifically with this owner in mind, and he has gone over the top in making sure that every single element of it is absolutely perfect. So I'm going to take you through and show you exactly what I mean by that. My name is Hugo Andreae, you're watching Motorboat and Yachting. Let's go and tour it. Now, the boat in question is a San Lorenzo SL96A. So it is the asymmetric full planing range. And one of the very distinctive parts of that is obviously the asymmetric deck. So on this side here, there is no main deck, side deck, but what you do have is a fabulous drop-down bulwark system that just lowers down. It's not a full terrace. The idea is just to make the most of the view through those windows, and we'll admire that from inside in a minute. But look at the scale. San Lorenzo build their boats seriously well and very heavy duty. Just look at the thickness of the mouldings. These are some of the portholes into the guest cabins, or the crew cabins, I think, in fact. But look how thick the mouldings are. And that is well above my head. That bar there is probably about 10 feet high off the pontoon. And all the deck gear, look at that, those little hidden recessed cleats. Here's that drop-down section I talked about. Gates in the side. And then onto the stern platform here. Now, under here is a full tender garage. It has a big Williams jet tender on there, and that runs out on a special track. It has a kind of cradle in there that slides out from under the garage along these tracks here. This whole platform then lowers into the water, the tender floats off, and the whole thing slides back in and reverses back in. So you don't have to have an exposed tender on the platform. It's all hidden behind that garage. Right, we've admired it from the outside. Now let's go on board and take a full look round. So steps up into the cockpit, and straight away you can start to see some of the detail on show here. I mean, just look at this dining room table here. Got beautiful stainless steel surround, freestanding chairs, lovely little inset lights in the extension here, and look at the standard of this mooring gear. Huge, great cleat, great big winch, special leather protectors for all the fenders. It's just such a lovely bit of kit, but let's keep moving because there is so much to see. So access down to the engine room here, we'll take a look in there in a minute, but let's start by going up the stairs to the Flybridge. And check this out for a good place to hang out during the day. Obviously the sun's not out at the moment, but you can see just how beautiful this would be in a Mediterranean bay, sun beating down, got the hardtop overhead providing some shade, fabulously comfortable sofa. Look at this, all fabric, beautifully soft cushions, incredible teak. Look at the thickness of that teak there. They do not mess about. Everything San Lorenzo builds tends to be incredibly sturdy and solid. We've got wet bars all the way around. Under here, we've got a couple of fridges, we've got an ice maker, big sink. And this is a spot I absolutely adore. Got glass transom there, so you've got views out all around. More of this lovely outdoor teak furniture. And look at this sort of braided sides here. The detailing on this boat is absolutely off the scale. Got marble tables here, teak legs, exercise bike set up here. Has a full sort of DJ sound system. You can see the speakers mounted on these carbon fiber poles. It is built for entertainment. Got more wet bar type furniture in here. We've got an ice maker in there. Television under here. And because this is the asymmetric layout, I will show you how that all fits together, but one deck is higher than the other effectively. We've got outdoor helm station here, two really comfortable looking Bessonzoni seats, got full electric controls. Up above, there is one of these louvered sunroofs, so they will all swivel round. You can have as much or as little shade or sunlight as you want. You can see more of those sort of commercial standard DJ style speakers here, and then access out on both sides, which slope down to the foredeck. Well, this one doesn't go all the way because that's why it's asymmetric, but you have got access to these sun pads up here. So you've got a kind of elevated sun pad section here, and then it drops down into the foredeck area there. But to do that, you have to go through and out the other side. So let's pop back this way. And over to this deck. And this one runs all the way down to the foredeck area. So this is what we mean by asymmetric. You have different sides of the boat with different elevation levels. But what I love about this is that it is just such a clean foredeck area. So it is a working space for crew. We have got all the deck gear here, beautifully polished stainless steel, seriously heavy duty, but it's also lovely and clean. We've got flat decks all the way around, got a little flat perch here you can sit on underway, and then there's this lovely little dining area, cocktail area here, all on high-low tables, more of that beautiful gloss varnished teak, big chunky stainless steel fittings, lovely laid back seating, and you can see that these are the mounts. You can also have a sun canopy in here if you want to. And then this comes down on this deck. The other deck is not the same width because that's where the full beam master cabin comes in, and we'll show you that from the inside. But look at that here, look how tall this is. This is almost sort of shoulder level for me, so really nice and secure. But the fact that it's got glass panels in means that you get the height and the safety and the security and the protection, but you've still got a view out. So this comes back. There is access through there into the saloon, but let's do the grand entrance through the cockpit area because that makes it all the more impressive. So this is the entrance, and this is where things start to get really funky. So all customized, you can choose absolutely everything. And the owner has really gone to town on this boat. He's spec'd it completely how he wants it, every last degree. So everything from the type of wood on the floor to the furniture used, the size of the furniture, the length of the sofas, how many cushions it has, all these, everything, these little lights here. You can choose exactly what they are, which color you have them painted in. There is absolutely nothing you can't get involved in. This piece of furniture here, full custom design. He sketched this out on a notepad, sent it to the San Lorenzo yard, and they duly made it exactly to his specifications. So the marble itself is a matte marble. We've got a bronze legs. This one here, full sort of stripped little elements of wood. And all the wood on this boat is actually something called Alpi, which is made using fast-growing, sustainable pine and then printed with exactly the veneer, the wood veneer that you actually want. And again, you can choose exactly how matte or how glossy, what percentage you want. This bulkhead here, again, completely custom made. So every single element of it, all these sort of bronze bits, the little, you can't really see, but there's little subtle lighting elements. They've got a underlit LEDs inset here. This is in fact a hidden television, so if you want to watch a movie, that will all light up. The TV is built into that. And it's so flawless. One of his things is he really doesn't like handles getting in the way. So you'll find almost no door handles on this. So for example, if I pull that open, that is actually access to the simply enormous hi-fi system he has fitted to it. Absolutely top-end audiophile quality, but all hidden behind this little secret panel in here. Right, where are we going to go from here? Let's take we'll do the crew station later, Probably ought to point out that on this side here, we have the dining table. Again, this is all on high-low, so that can be lifted up, and it can either be a formal dining area, or you can use it as a more sort of casual sort of cocktail area or coffee table or whatever you want to do it. The other thing I should point out is that these windows here, you can see they're full height, and that is because the whole exterior bulwark actually drops down during the daytime so that you get this full view, but then comes up at night or when you're on passage to provide more protection. But it's a great way of making sure that you make the most of the views through those huge plate glass windows. Right, moving on down this side of the boat, we've got storage behind here, and there is a little concealed day heads, very handy on this level here. Nice and light. Again, you can choose absolutely everything, the type of marble on the floor, a finish under here. Every element of it has been personally chosen for this boat. One of the very few door handles you'll see absolutely anywhere. And then moving forward, again, look at the artwork on here. This is all custom made, and this has actually been gold plated. More artworks on here. Lovely little sort of lobby area leading through into this main deck master cabin. And this is one of the big selling points of a boat of this size, is having that main deck master. Look at this cool bathroom here though. Pocket doors in here so you can be left open or closed off. All beautifully done. Huge walk-in shower in there. Again, proper marble all the way around. Separate heads area in here. Looks like they're heated towel rails, brass, beautifully done. All sort of electric switching for everything. bidet. And then through into the main bedroom area. And look at this. What a stunning main deck master cabin. Got windows on both sides, but this is the bit I really love. It almost looks like a windscreen from outside, but if you look up above, there is a full width window letting light pour in. All have their own electric blinds on absolutely everything. So at a press of a switch can all be made dark, but you can pretty much lie in bed there, early morning sun or gazing up at the stars, whatever you like. Fantastic. Got a little desk study area over on this side. More beautiful artwork set into this little recessed, I'm not sure what to describe it as actually. It's just a little recess, literally, for an artwork. Got a small desk area here. Lifts up for sort of storage, or if you want to put your work papers in there. Another hidden TV behind this mirror here. This one is in fact on, so you can see what's going on behind, but it's so well integrated. There's no frame or anything. It's just all flush fitting. Honestly, the detail that has gone into this boat is absolutely astonishing. Beautiful little elements here, little sort of jewelry holder, more artworks tucked away. Really nice that there is direct access out to the side deck from here. So if you want to go out and have coffee on the foredeck area, you've got direct access. And then even better, these steps down here lead down to your own private wardrobe or sort of walk-in clothing area. I'm not going to nose in here because I suspect some of the owner's kit is on board here, but we've got drawers in here, we've got hanging lockers here, got full-length mirrors here. This is all under that big natural light windscreen overhead, but what a lavish cabin. This is about as good as it gets on a sub 100-foot boat. Right, let's drop down and have a look at the other guest cabins. Whilst we're working our way through the boat, we can go back and have a look at crew areas and technical spaces and so on in a minute. Now, you are not going to feel hard done by wherever you stay on board this boat because they're all equally spectacular. Decent size double in here. Again, this sort of slightly darkened mirror effect just helps create the feeling of even more space. Quite traditional style ports, that's what San Lorenzo likes to do. They have proper heavy duty stainless steel opening ports. Really good comfy bed, obviously all en suite. Again, it's different colour marbles in here, but all equally high quality. more of that fluted woodwork underneath. Got little LEDs in the shower head. I don't know if you can see up there, but they've got a full sort of rain shower effect with little pink LEDs lighting it up. Really spectacular. Move across the other side, pretty much a mirror version of that cabin there. Another double here. It looks like we have a Pullman style berth that will drop down from there, so you can have yet another bed if you want it. You've got another one that will drop down from there. Ensuite, of course. This has the same colour marble, but you probably notice we've got slightly different colour lights up in the shower up there. I suspect you can change to whatever colour you like, but we've got this on a sort of green setting. But that's the beauty of it. It's all so elegantly and exquisitely done, but still there are these little personal touches that make it feel very special indeed. I nearly walked straight into that mirror there. It's so clean and so reflective. It actually looked like that was another lobby area there. That is in fact just a mirror. I'm not going to touch it because I'll leave greasy fingerprints on it. Even bigger double here. This is facing across the beam of the boat. And look at that, two massive great hull ports in there. So you get that much more natural light in here, an even better view. But just look how sturdy all that kit is. It's so chunky and, oh, love it, absolutely love it. Another one of these TVs set in the bulkhead there. Again, it's a mirror when you switch it off, but just so subtly done. Exactly the same marble, but I love the fact that this one is open to the cabin. So again, it just increases the feeling of space because you've got all this footprint here. Little digital switching for everything. You can see these little recessed switches on there for all the lights. Just beautifully done. Another big shower in there. Again, we've got this on the green setting by the looks of things. Another big window in there. This is a really beautiful light cabin, actually. It just really feels wonderful. Right, keep moving on. And fourth cabin in here. Pretty much a mirror of the one we've just seen, but this is over on the port side of the boat. Again, two big ports there. Lovely big bed. Same TV screen in the bulkhead. Same open footprint bathroom. That big shower in there. Oh look, we've got a blue lights on in this one. Very cool, because by having that sort of white, pale coloured marble, it effectively picks up the colour of whatever lights you've got shining onto it. I should have pointed out that on this side, there is, of course, a loo behind this sort of frosted glass. So you've got privacy and light. So even though it's open plan, you've obviously still got a separate heads compartment over on that side, separate shower on this side, and just the sort of basin area on view when you come into it. But really clever way of doing it. Obviously storage behind all of these. Right, let's go and have a look at some of the crew spaces and technical workings of it. So I should have pointed out, actually, on the way through here, there is also a very subtly hidden little wine cooler in here. And as with the rest of the obsession of not having door handles anywhere, you don't need to have door handles on this one. Just touch that, it opens up, pull it open the rest of it, and you pop it back, and when you get to a certain point, it just closes itself as well. Lights go out, job done. So cool. Right, move through into, let's go and have a look at the helm station, because this is absolutely off the charts cool. So he has completely spec'd this out himself, totally configured it exactly how he wanted it, because he wanted to have 5 of these 22-inch Garmin screens. They'd never done such a big, such an involved bridge deck as this, but he calculated there was room for 5 of them. They designed it to fit, and it all looks absolutely mega. So access to everything, all electronic switching. So on this one here, for example, you can have access. This is on all the light settings, so you can see exactly whether you want the light on in the chain locker or not. You can turn it on from here, you can turn it off from here. Obviously there has individual switches in the actual spaces too, but you can access everything, all the pumps, all the switch gear, total control of everything, all on the touch of a button from here. Has the full FLIR camera system, so that will, obviously in daylight now, but even in dark, it has the FLIR low light, sort of see in the dark style camera, so you can track everything. Got navigation, got access to all the wind speeds, and you can obviously set each of these screens exactly how you want them. But the fact that there are 5 of these 22-inch screens means that you don't have to flick through different menus and screens. You can have each of them as a dedicated separate thing. Full electronic steering. There is still a traditional wheel here. Still got a full Bessonzoni seat, again with those sort of electronic controls, so you can move it around exactly as you want. And then a kind of day bed alongside it, where you can obviously have someone on watch and off watch at the same time if you want to, or just sit here and have a chat with the captain. And because this is under the magic 24-metre ruling, you can actually drive this yourself. And the owner of this boat does actually drive it. He obviously has crew to help him look after the boat and his guests and so on, but he does actually captain the boat himself. There is access out. Oh, we've already been up on the Flybridge, but you can see there is the access out to it from the bridge deck. But let's carry on and have a little look at some of the crew spaces too. It is all about entertainment. So there is a door. You can see that that will pull to, one of the very few doors with a handle. But you can see that this is effectively where the crew space starts. Another lovely little modification that he's made here is that this, if you actually open this, this has a hatch through out into, whoop, there we go. So into that bridge area, so you can pass meals through. If you're taking meals out to that Flybridge, for example, it just saves several extra, sort of a long winding journey round to the staircase. It also means when he's driving the boat, he can just have a cup of tea or coffee passed directly through into that space there. Such a clever little addition. There's nothing that escapes his eye for detail. Now this is the main galley, so all the kind of cooking facilities. There is a door straight out to the side deck here, again enabling crew to come and go without going through the main guest areas. Full fridge, double door American style fridge here, but also all these in here are sub-zero freezer drawers, so massive chilling space all the way around. Oh no, that's not, that's the pan storage, but absolute comprehensive. And how cool is that? You have a picture of your boat on the fridge. Very cool. Right, full Miele worktop here, twin ovens. Some people say relatively small sink. There is a very good reason for that, and that is because he has had 2 dishwashers fitted. So one full size, one half size, far better, stick it all in the dishwashers, job done. You don't need a big sink if you've got 2 dishwashers. Staircase leading down into the crew space. We have been given permission to have a bit of a nose down here. So 2 washing machines. I'm not sure if they're washer dryers or washing machines, but a stack of them there, constantly on the go. And then 3 ensuite crew cabins. And they are really very comfortable, very nicely done crew cabins. You've got bunks in here, got an ensuite bathroom in there. We'll just have a very quick peek. Actually, the lights are off at the moment. But each of these cabins is ensuite. So you've got your privacy, you've got your own ensuite bathroom, and actually very decent sized beds too. And then there is a third one through here. This is kind of the biggest of the lot, but bigger bed in there. Little opening ports there, second bed up here, and of course, ensuite facilities too. So really good that all of the crew have their own ensuite bathroom, their own privacy and space. Ironing board on this side, of course. And I probably ought to have pointed out, there is also a repeater screen here so that the captain can have a view of all the systems. If you want to check out the tank levels, you can do that from here as well. So really clever to have access and view over everything from here. So absolutely easy to keep an eye on things even when you're down in your cabin. Right, let's go and have a final look out on deck and down in the engine room if we can. Let's come back out through here. I love this too, the fact that you've got a glass screen here. So you've got these stairs running up to the Flybridge deck, but by having it open like that with glass, it just feels much lighter, much more open, more light coming into the space. Look how cool all the switches are. These are all the light switches down here, little streaks of light in there, all controlled just by a press of the button. Right, it is time to get a little nerdy and start checking out some of the technical details of this boat. So first up, this is the access to the engine room, but before we do that, I wanted to point out that he's had a little extra screen installed here, and then he has a plug-in remote control for the engine control, so he can drive the whole thing from here, looking out over the stern. This camera, he can sort of pan around. You can just put your finger on it and pan around to check all around you, and then uses the control so he can walk around and berth the boat from the stern. Now, the owner of this boat isn't just the captain in name, he fully does everything. He's also the main engineer, so everything down here is also his concern. Now, I have to say, access down is pretty tight. So you're gonna have to stay reasonably slim or start investing in Ozempic injections, because this is not the best entrance I've ever seen. But once you are down here, things look up considerably. Now, these are twin MTU V16. They are absolutely the top spec you can get. So they are 2,400 horsepower each. You can see each of the cylinder heads here. Now that will give a top speed of about 32 knots, and I think it is the only example of the boat fitted with these absolutely top spec, top power engines. Now they will give you a speed of 32 knots, but in cruising mode, it has 10,500 litres of fuel. So there's a big central bunker tank under here. Then there are twin day tanks, which feed directly from there into the engines. Now the cruising range at planing speed is around about 300 miles, but at kind of 12 knots, it's more like 800 miles. Now you can see these engines are sloping at a bit of an angle. So that is the stern of the boat. This way is towards the bow, and they are canting down this way because they are on V drives, which if we look down here, we can see the shafts reversing back under the engine. You've got the gearboxes and then the power takeoffs here. Now those are that big because it has hugely powerful hydraulics thrusters on this boat. So the front thruster, the bow thruster, is about 75 horsepower and the stern thruster is about 50 horsepower. So you're effectively taking off a big old chunk of power to be able to push the boat around, but hydraulics are the way to go. Now, also, there is so much redundancy built into this. Wherever possible, there is two of everything. So we've got fuel filters here. You can see, if one gets blocked, you can switch it over to the other one, clear it, and keep on running. You never have to switch off. Everything is absolutely doubled up. We've also got electronic steering. You can see on that bulkhead over there. Now, again, it doubled up on the steering. So there is a 240 volt AC electronic steering, a 24 volt backup, and if it comes to it, you can even get a massive tiller out and steer them all by hand. This is the hydraulic tank, the reserve. You can see all the pipes leading from there to all the thrusters. It also has Sleipner curved fin stabilizers, again, oversized. I can't remember exactly what he said. I think it's about 1.6 square meters each to give full stabilization. There is so much, and look at the size. These are the raw water intakes. Just look at the size of those tubes. Massive fans on either side. I won't fire them up because it's so noisy. It is honestly like a tornado when you switch that on, but there is full electronic control of all of these. You can adjust the actual speed of the fan on these little buttons. There is a full water maker system, spot zero. So every element of water that comes on board, even if you take on board fresh water, it all passes through there so that it takes out any impurities, and it means you can wash down the entire deck and not leave any residue at all. Even under here, I've got to show you something because this is where things get really quite special. So in front of me here, these two big sea strainers here, they have a cross valve link. So if you see down there, that means that if you do get a blockage, you can feed from one of these intakes into both engines. You have to slow down a little bit, but again, it means you can carry on going even if you have one of them completely blocked. And up here, this reverso oil change system, That is a pump system so that you can change the oil on the engines and the generators without actually physically having to pour oil in and out of them. There is an outlet up on deck so you can suck out all the old oil, pump in all the new oil without ever having to carry new or old cans of oil up and down that rather narrow hatch. So absolute massive redundancy built into the whole thing. I should have pointed out the generators. We have not one, but two Kohler generators. You can see one of them tucked in here. They are 45 kVA each. They use the John Deere 4-cylinder diesel engine, about as robust and solid as you like. And the reason for that is, as the owner has pointed out, on a boat like this, you are always running mains power. There's just too much power demand, too many motors, power draws to enable you to run off DC. So constantly you have one of these running all the time. And actually it's a significant fuel draw. So each of these, I think when you're running one of them, they burn about 10 litres an hour. So over the course of a full week's cruising, running 24 hours a day, you're using the best part of 1,000 litres of fuel per week. But look, I just wanted to show you the scale of some of the things here. These are the exhaust, that's the main exhaust for one of the engines. This is the exhaust for the generator. The size and scale and complexity of this is absolutely astounding. But the fact that the owner runs all of this, he captains the boat, he's the chief mechanic, he runs the whole thing. And when you're running it yourself, you get it right. And he has clearly put a lot of effort into making sure this is right. I did promise you this was going to be something a little bit special, and I hope now you've seen the effort and the level of detail that's gone into this yacht, you can see why I was quite so excited about it. Now, I hope you've enjoyed getting a little bit of a feel for exactly what you can do with a full custom-built yacht, especially one like this where the owner has taken so much care to spec it all himself. Please do let me know what you make of it in the comments, and as always, thank you very much for watching.